The first thing people need to understand is this. Nobody was supposed to listen to me that day. I wasn't invited, I wasn't trusted, and I definitely wasn't respected. I was just the kid everyone had learned to look past. And, for most of my life, that worked out exactly the way they wanted it to. My name is Eli Parker. At least, that's the name you'll hear in this story. I grew up in a maintenance trailer at the edge of the Hawthorne Ridge Estate, a place so massive it had its own security team, its own water system, its own rules about who mattered and who didn't. My mom cleaned houses there at night. I learned early how to stay quiet, how to keep my head down, how to make myself small so rich people didn't feel uncomfortable walking past me. You learn that kind of thing fast when the world keeps reminding you you're temporary. The Hawthorne mansion itself looked like something out of a magazine. Marble floors, glass walls, art that probably cost more than my entire future. And on the night everything went wrong, that place stopped feeling untouchable. It felt scared. I was walking home from school when I heard the sirens, not one or two, but a whole convoy cutting through the private road like they owned it. Ambulances, black SUVs, even a helicopter dropping down onto the lawn. I knew something was wrong immediately because nothing ever interrupted the Hawthorne's routine unless it was catastrophic. Later, I'd learn what everyone inside already knew. Baby Oliver Hawthorne, the 3-month-old son of tech billionaire Richard Hawthorne, was dying. Not sick in a slow, manageable way. Dying fast. His skin had turned gray-blue, his breathing shallow, his heart rhythm unstable. They flew in specialists from all over the world, cardiologists, toxicologists, pediatric neurologists. Money moved faster than physics, and still nothing worked. I wasn't inside the house. I was never inside the house. I was standing outside near the side windows where staff kids like me were allowed to wait if our parents were still working. And that's when I noticed something nobody else did. There was a plant sitting right next to the nursery window. Tall, glossy leaves, pale, bell-shaped flowers, decorative pot wrapped with a ribbon. It looked harmless. Fancy. Exactly the kind of thing rich people send when they don't know what else to give. But my stomach tightened the second I saw it because I'd seen that plant before. Not in a lab, not online. On a back porch in Louisiana years ago, listening to my grandfather talk about what grows wild and what kills quietly. He used to say, the most dangerous things never look dangerous. And he taught me how to tell the difference. I watched doctors rush past that plant again and again, brushing against it, setting clipboards next to it, never once questioning why it was there. Meanwhile, Oliver's condition kept getting worse. And the longer I stood there, the louder one thought kept pounding in my head. They're looking in the wrong place. I should have walked away. That's what my mom would have wanted. She'd spent her whole life surviving by not causing trouble, by accepting disrespect as the cost of stability. I knew if I was wrong, if I said anything, we'd be gone by morning. Fired. Kicked out. Maybe worse. But I also knew what would happen if I stayed quiet. So I did the one thing I'd never done before. I stopped being invisible. I ran. I cut through the service entrance, took the back stairs 2 at a time, nearly crashed into a security guard who shouted for me to stop. I didn't. I pushed open the nursery door and suddenly every sound in the room collided at once. Machines beeping, doctors shouting, a mother crying. And then it all froze. Everyone turned and looked at me like I was a problem they didn't have time for. One doctor snapped, "Who let this kid in here?" Another waved for security. Richard Hawthorne stepped toward me, his face tight with rage and fear, and said, "Get him out, now." I didn't slow down. I pointed straight at the window. "It's the plant, I said." My voice cracked, but I kept going. "That plant is poisonous. It's releasing toxins. He's been breathing it." The room went dead silent for half a second. Then someone laughed. A real laugh. One of the doctors shook his head and said, "We don't have time for this." Security grabbed my arms, hard, started pulling me backward, and something snapped inside me. Years of swallowing words, years of being ignored, all of it boiled over. I yelled, "Test it! Just test the damn plant!" They dragged me out. 5 minutes later, one of the doctors came running down the hall, his face pale. "Get him back in here," he shouted. "Now! They'd tested the plant. It was toxic. Not just toxic, lethal in enclosed spaces. Oliver's symptoms matched exactly. They ripped the plant out of the room, aired. The nursery changed gloves, flushed systems. Slowly, painfully, Oliver stabilized. His color came back. His heart settled. The room exhaled. Nobody apologized right away. That came later. What came first was silence. The kind that hits when people realize the truth doesn't care about credentials. An investigation followed. Turns out the plant wasn't an accident. It was sent by a former business partner of Richard Hawthorne, someone who knew exactly how subtle poison could be. Someone who assumed money would cover his tracks. He was arrested within 48 hours. As for me, I sat in a hallway wrapped in a blanket waiting to find out if I'd just destroyed my life or changed it forever. That's when Richard Hawthorne walked up, knelt down in front of me, and said something I'll never forget. "I didn't see you," he said, "and that almost cost my son his life." Things changed after that. Not overnight, not magically, but they changed. My mom didn't lose her job. She got promoted. The estate opened a medical research wing focused on environmental and overlooked factors in pediatric care. And I was offered a scholarship. Not because I was special, but because someone finally realized that being ignored doesn't mean being wrong. Here's the part people argue about in the comments. Some say I overstepped. Some say I was reckless. Some say I got lucky. Maybe they're right. But here's what I know. If I had stayed silent, a baby would have died while experts debated theory. So now I want to ask you something. How many voices do we ignore every day because they don't come wrapped in authority? How many truths do we miss because they come from people we've already decided don't matter? And if you were in my place, would you have spoken up or stayed invisible? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know where you stand.